Hello, my name is Isra Khan, and my capstone project is on how to incorporate culturally responsive pedagogy in middle school math in Texas. The purpose of this study is to find out what culturally responsive pedagogy and culturally responsive teaching are and how they could be applied in a classroom to create an environment in which students feel safe to share their cultural connections with the use of different strategies. I also wanted to find out the significance of educating pre-service teachers about CRP and what the most important elements of CRP are that they should know about before entering the field and becoming responsible for so many futures. The purpose at the end of this project is to create a professional development session to share this information and these resources with teachers and to motivate them to use CRP and CRT in their own practice. Classes are very diverse with students from all around the world, and the standard curriculum does not meet their learning needs. Students often wonder why they are being taught a certain concept and cannot see any correlation of it to their lives. This affects student performance, which affects their self-confidence. Teachers need to figure out how can they create lessons that help students understand content by making personal connections. Schools and teachers need to create an education system that encourages students to share their heritage with others and learn content by seeing how it is applicable in their lives. The themes that I focused on are culturally responsive pedagogy, culturally responsive teaching strategies, and pre-service teachers and culturally responsive pedagogy. Student population has changed a lot as students from different ethnicities, religions, cultures, and socioeconomic backgrounds make classrooms in this day and age. Culturally responsive pedagogy and culturally responsive teaching can help teachers and schools become aware of the different cultures that their students bring with them and implement a education system that makes use of those backgrounds. Students' cultures and rich previous knowledge can provide context through which students can make connections to their lives. Although it is important that teachers use context that is appropriate in all cultures and interesting to students. When teachers know their students' backgrounds and their needs, they can decide what strategies would work best to meet the needs of their students. Culture is an important tool that can be used in math classrooms to help students see why they are learning that concept. It also helps students to develop new knowledge by making connections to their existing knowledge. Students not only learn from their own connections but also from other students' cultures and experiences, and that happens through collaboration and communication. Through sharing of information and working with other students, students enjoy the learning process, get motivated, and develop determination. It is impossible for students to be successful in a classroom that does not cater to their linguistic needs. That is, if students are not able to understand the teacher's directions, other students, and the lesson. Culturally responsive teachers create lessons, implement strategies, and create learning environments that are helpful for English language learners and helps them develop academic and conversational language. CRP's foundations consist of positive student-teacher relationships, mutual respect, and fairness. CRP creates an environment that fosters a positive student-teacher relationship and safe environment. Teachers who show their students that they are cared for and treat them with respect make students feel comfortable. Students feel confident and proud about their heritage. Making personal connections also motivates students to do their best and concentrate in class. Students go through both emotional and physical changes in middle school. Culturally responsive teaching can help teachers play an important role as they not only teach the subject but also help students develop social, responsive, and personal skills. Culturally responsive teaching can help students realize their duties and responsibilities as members of the society, but also become educated by their own rights. Culturally responsive pedagogy can help teachers create classrooms that interlink life and math. Teachers can use students' cultural knowledge to create lessons that engage students in developing conceptual understanding of math rather than lessons that just get students to practice procedures without any context. To get to know students, teachers can get students to create small bags in which they share their family traditions, interests, and items of significance. Although it is stated in the reviewed literature that middle school teachers have to be very careful with the strategies they use because the age group that they are teaching is going through puberty, which results in a lot of emotional and mental changes. In classroom today, many students are not native English speakers. For that reason, teachers can use different strategies to teach mathematical vocabulary not only in English, but also in different languages of their students by making connections to their culture. Students benefit from many resources that they can get as textbooks do not offer enough learning material that relates to students. For that reason, growing and creating a classroom library with books in English and students' native languages on topics relevant to them helps students develop more academic and conversational language. Foldables can be very beneficial for students as they can create their own notes and record examples that they gather from other students and also their own examples. Peer tutoring can also help English language learners work on their speaking skills, academic and other skills. Academic and other posters in English and other languages of students also help English language learners make connections between the languages and understand. When learning a new language, students can use those tools to remind themselves of what words mean, and the teacher can refer to them to help students. Visuals are not only very helpful for English language learners, but also help all students make context and content more significant. Incorporating components into lessons that get students to discuss mathematics helps them understand it better. Students can be allowed to talk about topics at hand in native languages with peers, and teachers can use examples that students are aware of, like food and cultural elements. Culturally responsive pedagogy can help teachers create a healthy, positive environment in which students feel free to be themselves and make connections to their own lives. They also feel comfortable to share their own connections with other students and learn from other students' connections. What teachers can do is use items that are important to students or are related to their lives. In the literature reviewed, examples of using African American students' hair beads to teach counting was also shared. Teachers should use the knowledge that students bring from other countries to make connections to the material that is being taught in class and to also help students think about the material in different ways. Parents can be a great tool that can be used in the classroom as they can help around the classroom with students who speak their language or help students learn about real life application of the content by sharing their personal skills, knowledge, and connections. Another strategy that is shared is using stories that can help students make real life connections and also get interested in the content. When the story is used, students are emotionally engaged in it, and that gets them interested in the content that is related to it. Think, Pair, Share is another strategy that is used as students can think about a concept, then pair up and discuss it, and then share it with the whole class. Alternative assessment is the greatest solution in my opinion. Alternative assessment is a way that could be used for students to show their own understanding apart from giving a traditional test or a multiple choice test, a test which helps students show their own understanding and show the connections that they make. Lastly, I focused on pre-service teachers and culturally responsive pedagogy. Pre-service teachers will benefit a lot if they're taught CRP-related strategies because they will have their own classrooms soon. And if they know these strategies, then they will be able to help the diverse student as soon as they start teaching. Pre-service teachers should be taught to create a personal relationship with the student and earn their trust. Most of the times it is noticed that in a classroom, teachers do not get to personally get to know students and use that knowledge in their classroom, whereas according to culturally responsive teaching, it is recommended that teachers get to know their students and create lessons that involve in student-teacher creating a relationship where they can talk to each other and use that knowledge to create meaningful lessons. Teachers, pre-service teachers should know that they will have to make an effort to get to know the students by talking to them, reaching out to the parents and getting involved in the community, because most of the times it is noted that teachers do not feel that they know the student or know where they're coming from, but this way they can get to know the students and use that knowledge to create lessons that engage students and interest them. It is time consuming to get to know one's students, but it is this precious knowledge about students' interests, likings, and lives that can help students learn content that they will know is applicable to their lives. Students will know why they're learning something and how it is applicable to them and in their lives. Lastly, a few more points are that more resources, support, and examples should be made available for pre-service teachers. At this point, there is not much available for pre-service teachers, and they cannot learn if not many examples are available. So there should be more examples available. Skills such as communication with students, applying student cultures to content, and student advocacy, through which one as a teacher can take a stand for the students and educate students about their rights and liberties, should be developed in pre-service teachers. They should know that they have to teach students their rights and their duties and roles as responsible members of the society, and also teach their students how to stand up for their own selves. In the future, I will continue to focus on creating a professional development session using this knowledge, and even adding more strategies and more resources into my collected research so far to create a professional development session that would get teachers to change their mind about culturally responsive pedagogy and culturally responsive teaching. Following attached are my resources. Thank you very much.